Hello, third graders. Today we are talking about modeling multiplication problems with arrays. Now I'm going to let you know if you hear a funky noise in the background, that's Miss Miller's washing machine, so just ignore it. I had to do some laundry tonight. So today's lesson is lesson 3.5, which means that you need to be on page 165. All right, so go ahead and flip open your book to page 165, and let's get going. Many people grow tomatoes in their gardens. Lee plants 3 rows of tomato plants with 6 plants in each row. How many tomato plants are there? Now, this sounds like a word problem to me, so I know that when I have a word problem, I need to break this problem down. So the first thing I'm going to go through and do is I'm going to circle the numbers. I've got the number 3 and I've got the number 6. Then I'm going to underline the question. How many tomato plants are there? Now I have to box the operation clues. Let's see if any of these words stick out to us. Many people grow tomatoes in their garden. Lee plants 3 rows. I know that rows is a word that is associated with multiplication of tomato plants with 6 plants in each row. So those are 2 buzzer words. I've got the word each and I've got the word row. How many tomato plants are there? Now, the first way that we can solve this is we make an array. So an array is something that we make that has the same number of tiles in each row. So it says make an array with 3 rows of 6 tiles to show the tomato plants. So we're just going to make this array on our paper. Now a row goes from left to right and a column goes up and down. So that's important for you to keep in mind. This is a row. This is a column. So it says 3 rows of 6. So I know that I have 3 rows going this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw those 3 rows. That's row 1. Here's row 2. And here's where row 3 is going to start. Now it says I have to have 6 tiles in each. So the most important thing when you make an array is that all of your dots are nice and evenly spaced. So I've got 3 rows. Now I need to make sure that each has 6 and that they're evenly spaced. So I'm going to put 1 in each until I have 6 in all 3 rows. So I've got 2 in each. Now we've got 3 in each. Now we've got 4, 5, and 6. Notice how evenly spaced those dots are in this array. That way we can easily count by column or by row. So I've got 3 rows of 6. Let's see how many dots we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I'm going to put that number 18 down here in the corner. I could also count if I wanted to by 6s. I could skip count. So if I look at the end of this row, I've got 6. If I look at the top 2 rows, I've got 12, and my bottom row would make it 18. So the total number of tiles that we have is this number we totaled up down here. So I have 3 rows with 6 in each row. So my total number of tiles would be 18. So there are 18 tomato plants. Alrighty. So now we're going to flip the page and we're going to go on to the second activity. So this activity is going to have us use 8 tiles. And we are going to make as many different arrays as we can using all 8 tiles. then you're going to draw the arrays. The first one is already done for us. They've got one row of 8. So they have one full row going this way, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in there. All right, so the next one says 8 rows of, and my total number of tiles can only be 8. So let's go ahead and draw those 8 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now I counted and I started 8 rows. However, I ended up at the number 8. So I can't keep going because I only have 8 tiles. So right now I've got 8 rows of 1. So 8 times 1 is equal to 8. Now we've got to figure out 2 more. I want you to pause the video quick and see if you can make another array with your 8 tiles. Alrighty, so if you're playing the video now, that means that you have figured out what array will work. So we've got 2 different options. So I'm going to start with 2 rows and see what happens. Because up here I did 1 row, so let's try 2 rows. Now I'm going to put 1 into each row until I get to 8. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I put 4 in each row and I got to 8. All right, so we just stop there. So now, right now, we have 1 row and 2 rows. So we have 2 rows of, how many are in each row? We've got 2 rows of 4. So my multiplication sentence is going to take those numbers and drop them below. 2 times 4 equals 8. Now, I wonder if we can just flip this array around and make a new one. So if I have 2 rows and 4 columns, let's try starting with 4 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now remember, the most important part of an array is that there is an equal number in each row. So right now I've got 4. Each row has 1. So let's put 1 more into each row until we get to 8. So I'm going to pick up counting where I left off. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this array ended up being this one flipped over on its side. So now instead of 2 rows, now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of 1, 2. There's 2 in each row. So I'm going to take these same numbers and flip them just like we did in the last problem. 4 times 2 equals 8. So how many different arrays can we make using 8 tiles? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different arrays using 8 tiles. All right, now it's time for you to move on to the class kick.